What do you remember most vividly about the Freedom Rides?
The Freedom Rides is probably one of the untold stories of the movement. It was drama. And because of the arrests, the beatings, the jailing, after several of us, on the first day we went into Mississippi, I think there was 36 arrests, maybe more. People start coming from all over America. And there's some of more than 300 people arrested and jailed for going to the Greyhound bus station to Jackson, going to the Trailway bus station by bus, going to the airport, because you couldn't use the restroom facility, you couldn't go to the restaurant for the lunch counter, or couldn't use the so-called white waiting room. There was a waiting room marked white waiting, colored waiting, and we were trying to change that. We arrived in downtown Montgomery. The driver pulled into the state, pulled into the parking lot of the station. And before we can come down the steps, all of the press people started surrounding the bus. Photographers, still photographer, the electronic people, the pencil people. And an angry mob came out of nowhere to start beating the reporters. So if you had a pencil and a pad, if you had a recorder, had a camera, they were taking everything you had. They were trying to destroy any of it. And then after they beat the reporters, you saw these reporters and photographers just bleeding. Then they turned on us. I was hit in the head by an individual with a wooden soda crate. And I was not unconscious, I was bloody. Dr. King and Reverend Ralph Abernathy were leaders in Montgomery. At this time, they agreed with us that we should have a mass meeting at Reverend Ralph Abernathy's church, the First Baptist Church in downtown Montgomery, short distance from the bus station. And on that Sunday, they tried to local people and people from the Department of Justice, the people in charge of the mass meeting, tried to disguise all of the Freedom Riders as members of the choir. So we were sitting in the choir, and I had to cover the patch on my head, and someone gave me a little cap to wear while we were there. The church was full to capacity. The meeting wasn't supposed to start until around 7:30, and about 4:30 in the afternoon it was already full. And while we were there in the church, before the meeting got underway, an angry mob came to the church, started throwing stink bombs, trying to burn the church down. They started burning marshals, state trooper cars, and officials' cars. And Dr. King went down into the basement of the church, spoke to the Attorney General, to Robert Kennedy, and told him there was a very dangerous situation here. Something needed to be done. And Robert Kennedy spoke to his brother, President Kennedy. President Kennedy called out the United States Marshals, federalized the Alabama National Guard, and put the city of Montgomery under martial law. And the General of the Alabama National Guard, General Graham, came and spoke from the pulpit. He said, no one can leave this church. It's too dangerous a church. And kept everybody in the church till early Monday morning. And it took the Freedom Riders, Dr. King, Reverend Abernathy, and some of the other leaders in jeeps to the home of a local African-American businessman who had been a Tuskegee Airman. He was the owner of a pharmacist in Montgomery. And that's where we all stayed for 2 or 3 days until we left to go to Jackson, Mississippi.
Was there any time during the Freedom Rides that you thought about giving up, or maybe not continuing?
But never ever during the Freedom Ride, during any part of the movement, did I ever think about giving up, not going on. When you come to that point and you say, what else can happen to me? I've been beaten. I've been arrested. I've been thrown in jail. And you have to stay with it. It became a part of you. And you had to hang in there. You had to keep the faith. You had to keep your eyes on the prize.
Was that like the main thing that motivated you, this perseverance?
More than anything else, before the sit-ins, before the freedom rides, or any protest, we had studied the philosophy and the discipline of nonviolence. And one of the things that you learn in the nonviolent workshop is always to be hopeful, always to be optimistic, always to think that somehow, in some way, we were going to prevail, that things were going to work out. And it did.
What do you think children of today need to know? What do you think they need to know most about the freedom rides?
But because of what we did, young people, students need to know in a matter of a short time. Those signs that say white waiting, colored waiting, white men, colored men, white women, colored women, those signs came tumbling down because of the work of President Kennedy, his brother Robert Kennedy. They were able to persuade the Interstate Commerce Committee to bring those signs down. So today, young people, young students growing up, probably would never see those signs. The only place they would see them would be in a book, in a museum, or maybe on a video.